VO in Stereo is sponsored by Bodalgo, international voice acting platform. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to VO in Stereo. I mean, we do an introduction every time, but this guy really doesn't need one. We're going to do one anyway. Please help me welcome award-winning audio engineer and purveyor of Antland Studios and home of the killer demo, Roy Yokelson.
Uncle Roy to you. Uncle Roy.
Uncle Roy to many. Uncle Roy to me.
It's like having an uncle in the recording business,
Absolutely.
You gotta love it.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Right?
Ever since you started this.
And here we are. Finally, we have you on.
Thank
you. Thank you for being on with us.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question to you, sir, is where were you born? Where are you from?
I don't remember. I was very young.
All right, that's our show. Thanks for coming.
All right, try the veal. The Garden Spot of America, Brooklyn, New York. That's where it happened. That's where I grew up till I was 14. Then we moved to Long Island. Then we moved to, I'm answering the next five questions.
You're going way fast.
Then we moved to Queens, and then we moved to New Jersey. So here we are. Next.
So how was growing up in the city? Were you in the city?
I was a city kid, yeah. We used to play punch ball in the street. There was a lot across the street. And we used to play monster in there. So I would be the monster. Of course, I was the older kid. Everybody else was 2 or 3 years younger. And then their younger siblings. So
what is the noise that you would make as playing the monster? That's where my brain went. I need to know.
It's like I want to imitate the Mel Blanc Carmichael. No.
Which way did you go, George?
That's Carmichael is Jack Benny's bear who guards the safe where Jack Benny keeps his money in the basement.
That makes complete sense. Who the hell doesn't need a bear?
Who Jack Benny? Who's that?
Yeah, it's an old reference, but I think half of our audience will get that. Did you have siblings growing up?
I have 2 younger sisters. And after watching the Mark Scott episode, then I know the next question is something about, well, were you guys creative in any way?
You could do that, or I was going to ask if you still talk to them.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Do they still talk to you? That's more important.
The middle child. I'm the oldest, so the middle child. She's still talking to me. The baby. No, she's still talking to me too, and it's just, I don't know. We're dealing with some my mother's little health issues, but she's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. So there's a little tension going on. Yes, we still. You? It's a 2.5-hour schlep, and none of them have been here. In 10 years, I'll say. I always have to go out there because there's all of them. Why should they have to come here, right? It's just me or me and Donna, and we have to schlep out there.
I would say it's because you have a way cooler bathroom, and what the hell do they know?
For the VOBBQ, I'm renting 2 porta potties. I think you saw the pictures, and then we have to decorate those with Pez.
Oh, Pez. I thought you said something else. I was like, you could tie one on. I could do it in about 3 hours.
Didn't you say something about the cool bathroom?
Oh, absolutely.
That's the Pez room. When you got to take a Pez, that's where you go, right?
Nice.
I mean, it's not much for people my size.
You squeeze in.
Absolutely.
You can go upstairs, or you can use the porta potty. What do you got there? Oh, that's a good. Yeah. So I have 2 big Pez like that. I have a Homer, I have a Homer and I have a Snoopy.
It's Snoopy.
Does your Homer say "dope" when you open up his neck?
I think it does. And I also have my son somehow wound up with a prototype of a Pez that spits out dog treats.
That would be awesome.
That would be very confusing on Christmas morning sometimes. You're like, what are these? These are
why
great.
does this taste like liver?
Oh, we've graduated from bags of cola around here, you son of a bitch. Hey, have a treat.
Right.
I did that when I was a kid. We had a giant candy cane under the tree. I was like, this thing is fantastic. It's full of all kinds of treats. And I'm a kid. I'm sitting there eating. My parents come down. That's for the dog, you idiots.
At least it wasn't filled with X-Lax. I mean, that could have been,
Yeah.
That's an old-time laxative for you younger folk.
This is
young
by
folk.
Mylanta.
My father used to tell a story. They pranked some guy, or maybe he was pranked. And, X-Lax was giving out samples. They were putting them in mailbox. So, the kids thought, oh, look, chocolate samples. And they picked them all up. And I mean, the story ends really badly with somebody had just eaten a whole bunch of these, dived in the swimming pool.
Oh,
There was a big puddle. Big puddle in there. I haven't thought of that quick story in a long time.
Hey, our show tends to bring out the worst in people, so it's fine. It's great.
It works.
It works.
Want some chocolate, little boy?
Want some chocolate?
Oh my God. My brother had a story like that, but he did it for wrestling. And he took a bunch of X-Lax so he could cut weight. And he got out there and he
cut something.
Yeah. And as soon as the guy slammed him on a mat,
he got some extra
out came the rapper.
He just laid there flat and let him pin. He's like, I didn't give a shit about weight. I need to get up and run. He's like, I didn't care. I was so embarrassed. Done. Nope.
Fantastic.
I missed all those embarrassing, but I'm young, so it could still happen.
Oh, dude, you got plenty of time.
I got plenty of time.
So are you still doing your MMA training or?
What training am I doing?
The mixed martial arts training?
I never did.
Well, you said this youth is so on your side. I figured you were going back into fighting. I heard Tyson was next.
Tyson makes good chicken.
Yes, he does.
That would be me. I'm the chicken when it comes to anything sports. I'd be the chicken.
That's a great answer.
That's fantastic.
So when you were growing up, did you mess around with electronics and stuff like that as a kid? Were you interested in that? Sound
was always my passion. My father gave me a tape recorder when I was, goes back. My father gave me a record player when I was 2. People have heard this story, and I would play Perry Como's Popolop's Mambo over and over and over. It drove him crazy. So his friend said, put in a headphone jack. That'll kill the speaker, So I had headphones, which today is normal, but not then. Then he gave me a tape recorder, and I was the kid on the block with the puppet stage in my basement, and we pre-recorded the dialogue. We didn't know that's the way they do it. We just did it. And my sister would make the scenery. I'm segueing into were you and your sister's creative in any way? So
just go ahead. You go ahead and you do your thing.
You just stop trying to predict what we're going to say and just answer the question, mister.
So I was always sound and she was always visual. So she's staff photographer at Stony Brook University Teaching Hospital, right? For the visual. And I'm still doing my silly sound effects and stuff. So did I answer your question? I have no idea.
You did. Well, you went from record players to tape recorders.
Tape recorder
with that, and your puppet show and all that.
Right. And in high school, I would record. There was no video in those days, so I would record. I put up a couple of mics with Y connectors and I had no mixer, so I put up microphones with splitters and crazy stuff, and I recorded all the school shows that way. I didn't know. I was just. There was no, back in those days, there was no Institute of Audio Research. There was no Full Sail. There was no internet. There was no way to learn. So I would play with electronics. You're right.
But there was an Uncle Roy.
There was an Uncle Roy.
At that point, he was just Roy. I
was just Roy. I wasn't.
No, but that's cool. So you got involved in the audio video stuff in in your school, right?
Yeah, I
You were
ran
involved in
the
that.
sound and lighting for the school shows. I was on the AV squad and all that, which is has good and bad memories because I got blamed for stealing a tape recorder. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Hello, and thank you
I
for
meant
calling
to put the
Alien
phone
Studios.
back.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Everett. Let's bring Everett in on the
Oh
show.
no, you don't. He's not
Hey,
on
man.
until November.
Of
You're not
course.
on till November.
I'm not. What do you mean?
Yeah, we're on VO and stereo, and you're on.
We're
you're
doing
on our
VO and
show right
stereo
now.
right now. You're on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What's up?
I'll talk to you later after you finish your interview. I don't want to disturb it.
I'll call you back.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, bye. There, we had a little cameo from Everett. That's
Dude,
good.
What's so funny is like we were talking about, we don't know whose face has been in the show more. It is so fitting that Everett
Right.
would call in the middle of
Everett's
Roy's show.
probably brought up more than anybody else.
Right, so you could put up his. I saw what you guys do. You put up the pictures. That's
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
That's
So
it.
you had the picture of me like this.
That's the dumb
Right.
stuff I do when we finish this. Yes.
This is
Yeah,
exactly why real life is so much better than fiction.
Because Everett Oliver
Now, what were you asking me?
can just
Whenever
call
I
in the
called?
middle of nowhere.
We were getting into where your love of audio came from, and that's always been a part of you, and how, you know, it's just kind of been in your family.
I was always fascinated with sound. Like, okay, how can I fix it? How can I make it better? How can I play with it? So, you know, the Chipmunks is really Dave Seville, whose real name is Ross Bagdasarian, doing, 4 parts, the Dave Seville part and 3 Chipmunks. And then he also wrote the music. So I wanted to be, so I would slow down the records, to hear, because I didn't have a 2-speed tape recorder at the time. So I'd slow down I'd play the record like by hand to slow it down to hear the 3-part harmony that he was doing. And I just thought, wow, somebody had a great idea. And, I still have, here's my 1/4-inch tape deck here. Yeah, man, I got to call up the lighting director. There's something wrong here.
Everett,
Everett,
Everett, hello.
Maybe Everett, right.
Everett?
So here's some, there's everything is there. I got cassettes. I
Is
got,
that is that
every
a Tascam?
format. That's that's an Otari 5050.
Oh, okay.
Everybody needs one. Well,
I have one. I have a
Now, if I put up hooks and put up as many headphones as you have, we are both headphone hoarders, aren't we?
I don't know. I don't know what you have, but if you have headphones,
Yes, you
then
both are.
you are my brethren. Because
We just,
I love the headphones.
so we were all loving the Biodynamic DT770.
They're in the booth, yeah.
Pro, right?
Yeah.
And then I forget John Ciano from Long Island Voiceover Takeover. They were crushing his head. So he said, "Oh, we got to get these ATH
Right.
M50s,
The orange
right?"
ones,
And Mark
right?
Scott, oh, they come in orange,
Yeah.
right? So I put them on, and it's like, yeah, but they're bright. I didn't like it. And then Ann Ganguza texted me, "I'm sad that you don't like my headphones."
Well, as they say in the 80s, different strokes for different folks, my dear.
Brighter isn't necessarily better unless you're losing your hearing. And I think I'm not. And if your headphones are bright, you're not going to ever want to brighten up something that might need brightening.
Correct.
So you need something that's flat.
Ding. There's a little tidbit right there. That
Has a
y'all-
little,
you just learned.
Yes, I see everybody's jumping on that AT orange train. I got it. I know.
you want to buy them?
No.
There's this thing about industries where people will jump all over one thing because somebody says it's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So I really wanted them to be more comfortable, and I wanted them to sound as good. And okay, maybe they're a little less head
Clampy.
squashing.
Clampy.
But what I'm really used to are these old Sony 150s that sit on your ear, and
I
I
don't
can
like ones
hear
that
the
sit on.
world. I don't like to close out the world. So
Oh yeah.
I trust these.
Don't you close us out, Roy.
So these
No.
are planar magnetic ones that when you put them on, you still hear the whole room. They're open.
Right. I like that. I don't like to be.
These are-
It's like,
these are
what
fun.
if there's a burglar sneaking up behind you,
Right.
You wouldn't hear it. You wouldn't know.
Right.
See, I
Scare the
do
crap out of you.
one ear on and one ear on because on and one off because I don't trust my kids like that.
Right. But then you could say like what Cliff says about he and I is like, hey, between the two of us, we can hear in stereo.
What?
Cliff
Oh,
says, yeah. The old Takakos say that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
You had Cliff on the show already. I saw the promo. That was the first thing. That's the first link I went to. Very
I
well
know what you're
done.
talking about. My head was against Cyrano's to hold. The
Yeah,
line.
Toto, hold the line.
Love that promo. Love that.
Yeah,
promo.
you did a good job. And then I watched almost the whole Mark Scott thing. So that was
watch them all. They're all fantastic, of course. And
I will. Now I'm hooked.
please do.
I'll
please
watch
do.
the one that Uncle Roy one. That's going to be really good.
He
Yeah.
is such a sexy beast.
I hear that guy's incredible.
Well, I'll tell you what. You talk about Uncle Roy. Now, did you know is a known fact that he has many things named after him. There is a car, an automobile, an antique automobile, I might add, named after Mr. Roy. And there is a cat, which is of legend, a three-legged ginger cat, which I am the owner of, Miss Roy, named after Uncle Roy.
Yeah.
So-
So the car is Rusty Roy. The car is Rusty Roy.
And what kind of car is that?
A 1938 Plymouth four-door touring sedan, P5.
Wow, like
Road
the Blues
King.
Brothers.
Road
Dude,
King, in which the kids like to say, oh, it's in original condition, meaning it's rusty.
I mean, it's like a 1963 Gibson with the original strings on it. I got you.
I can tell you this. I can tell you
It
this.
still
I've
gets
been in $500,000 cars, and I've been beeped at and honked at, but I have never been treated the way I've been treated when I got to ride in Rusty Roy. There is nothing like riding in a piece of history like that. And
We
going
had
down.
we had a great time. Jared and I were in what's called a poker run, and we had to stop at 6 different places. We got a poker card, and then you wind up at the last place. You put your cards out, and high hand wins, low hand wins. You know, so we took a lot of pictures. We had fun. Got to do it again, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So-
you could sit in the back seat, Steve.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll sit in the back. You haven't ridden the car yet. That's fine.
Yeah.
I got to start somewhere.
You let your hair blow in
Land
the wind.
Yeah, the both of you let your hair blow in the
Exactly.
Oh man, I missed it. It's
Just
gone.
leave the windows down. We're fine with the wind.
It's nice and airy.
Right.
Not hairy, airy.
So you got into audio. I know I got to get us back on track. So you got into audio. Did you ever go to school for it, or did you just kind of school of hard knocks?
As I was saying, those schools didn't exist. Institute of Audio Research, Full Sail. So having this passion, but no career guidance to say you could be a recording engineer, you could be a director, none of that. So my girlfriend at the time said, oh, well, after high school, I went to 2 years of trade school to learn electronics. So I got certified as an electronic technician because I thought that was the closest thing to sound and electronics and stuff. And then my girlfriend said, why don't you go back to college? You know, now that you're got your certification, why don't you become an engineer? But she didn't mean a recording engineer. She meant like a civil engineer or, you know, something design and engineer. So I went back to school, and once I discovered the college radio station, I became the production manager, and I made jingles, and I think they're still running some of the jingles, but this is 1970. And you guys weren't born.
Silly. You're very silly.
And then, so I made a demo reel of all my jingles and stuff. And I started sending it out to radio stations and recording studios. I was trying to get a job, you know, and I got a job having nothing to do with the demo. I got a job as a messenger at National Recording Studios in New York City. And that was really from the ground up. You know, they sent me out on deliveries, and I thought, you know what? I'll just be the best messenger they ever had. And then I'll be the best head of shipping they ever had. Then I'll be the best assistant engineer they ever had. And literally from entry level, $92 a week, to when I left 9 years later, senior video sweetening and music production engineer. So
you cut your teeth there.
I had the greatest mentor. We were just doing jingle dates, 2 jingle dates a day, 4 or 5 days a week. But I was the original engineer on My Little Pony jingle, Transformers, G.I. Joe. Yeah, I'll play some later. G.I. Joe, and then a lot of film scores. If you go to my IMDb page, I don't know if I'm jumping into.
No, you're fine.
Where your timeline is going and all that stuff.
Go right ahead and do you, boo boo.
Yeah, cool. So
no, I checked you out. You've done a lot of stuff. Absolutely. This is why you're on here, Roy.
Oh, okay. And Cliff had a similar, but he went the rock and roll route, and I did the film scores and documentaries and radio and TV production route.
But you both cut your teeth in studios doing whatever you could to figure out the next step.
National at the time was the top commercial recording studio in New York City. Wow. And when Cats first opened, there I am, 60-piece orchestra and Andrew Lloyd Webber for 30 seconds. So after 20 minutes, it's like, okay, now what do we do? And Betty Buckley was there, so we recorded Memory. Just a rehearsal. So all these, so then I was doing a lot of Broadway show TV spots, and nobody was nervous. This wasn't the cast recording. This was just, okay, we're here. Let's record something. Let's just practice. So these recordings kind of blow away some of the original album cuts, recordings.
Interesting.
Spontaneous.
No, there was no pressure. We're here. Let's just run it down, like rehearse on tape. That's all it was.
That's great.
God, you work with so many people. Like I got to be up there at your property and like go through your photo album, and it was so funny getting to ask you. One of my favorite one was Whoopi. I was just like, oh my God, that might have been so much fun.
We went as a group of audiobook narrators and producers. We went to The View. Terrible TV show.
I could not agree more.
So it's a bunch of women arguing, and you should have seen the floor director was like, because we got to go to commercial, and they just keep talking. Then he has to recalculate. Okay, they ran over by 2 minutes. Okay, so the next segment has to be 2 minutes shorter. Crazy stuff. So during one of the breaks, I had this great picture of, I'll send it to you. You can pop it up there, of me and Whoopi. Sent it down. She looked at it. She said, "Hey, we look good," because we were both pretty damn young then. We went because we heard she's a big fan of audiobooks. And this was either through APA, Audiobook Publishers Association, or the Here Now Festival, maybe. One of those organizations contacted The View, and we got in. I got to tell you, if you go to an ABC show and you're going to be like in the audience, the people herding you in and out are really nasty. Okay, got to go to the bathroom now. Otherwise, that's it. And then when the show is over and you come out, nobody's going to the bathroom. You're out. You're out on the street. They treated us like crap.
You're like, well, I'm setting up till the end of the show, and I'm going to poop right here.
That's right.
In the green room.
We're on a commercial break. I think I'll just poop right here on the stage.
Next to all these Doritos all lined up perfectly.
You think you can stop a 6'3", 300-pound streaker?
Have you tried these new Hershey miniature chocolates? They don't say Hershey.
I just made them.
Yeah, that's a cool mug. That plaid mug. I have this mug. I was a temp at the UN, and this is so. Of course, the General Assembly is on right now, and I'm so happy to not work at the UN right now because they closed Second Avenue. You have to have a security badge just to walk in the street. And then when you get in there, they, as if you're a terrorist, they scrutinize, and okay, the security has to be high, and even worse so with COVID and everything. So I did get to see Obama when he was there. I had some nice things to say about you guys. He wanted to be on the show.
We used to summer all the time together. He'd be like, Jared, I'll tell you, you're one cool white motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate you, dude. I was like, you are really connected to the people. And he was like, well, just my wife really doesn't like you. And I was like, hey,
yeah, I remember that.
it, dude. And I was like,
Michelle had a different story. She told me she liked you.
oh, was this before or after strip poker?
I don't know. She said something about.
No, I lost a hand and she never talked to me again. I was more embarrassed than she was.
Right.
She said something nice about bald-headed white guys.
You showed her yours, and when it came to her showing,
right?
No, never mind.
King to your queen.
You didn't show your hand. She didn't show her hand. It's like this.
They'd have done a fourth term, third term, fifth term.
So anyway, I'm happy to not be working for the GA right now.
Can't even imagine with the nonsense in New York, how closed everything is.
What was so cool, and I'll send you more pictures. UN radio was built for the Nuremberg trial in the 60s or something. And when I worked there, it still looked like that. They started mono radio and they never went stereo. So all the equipment was mono. Mono Studers, tape decks and everything. A whole gigantic room of Otari tape machines and cassettes, because every conference room had interpreters. So you would have a multi-track of English, Russian, English, Spanish, Hindi, Chinese, and Arabic. Wow. And that was UN radio. Every quarter hour, every half hour, they would do a 15-minute news in the foreign language. So it was Fresca. It was French, Russian, English, Spanish, Chinese, and Arabic. Fresca. There you go. Nice. Wow. Little known facts about the UN. The sad thing about the UN is there will never be world peace because they'll be out of business. It's a business. They have to run their business. So
war is business, isn't it?
I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Give peace a chance.
You can edit that out if you want.
No.
We don't edit shit.
No, we do. Believe me, we do.
Flash. Human beings are the only animal on the planet that kill for greed. Back to you, Timmy.
So what made you go? I know I'm going to get us right back on track. So what made you go from, you're recording dialogue for cartoons and things like that, music scores. Did you prefer one or the other? Did you prefer to do music or prefer to work with voice actors?
That's an interesting question. All of the clients were high-end clients. So whatever came in, films, I was in the right place at the right time. They needed a big recording studio for Woody Allen film. I happened to be in the right place. And then that led to doing however many Woody Allen films I did, 12 or 15 or whatever it is. So I was the guy. I love working with voiceover people because it's a double-edged sword. The clients knew or thought, okay, it's Roy and us, and we got to deal with these crazy voiceover people. And the talent knew, I'll get you out of here. I'll just give you really good direction. Forget these fishing expeditions and stuff. Because eventually the clients figured out that I could be directing and just get it done quicker than
just left it alone with you.
Here she is.
There's the cat.
It's Dottie Pearl Snake Eyes. Come here, kitty. Come here. Let's see.
What's up, Row?
It's Dottie Pearl Snake Eyes.
What's up?
Can you figure it out, everybody?
Yes, I figured it out. Oh my God. The cat harmonica.
There's cat hair everywhere.
Your cat.
Don't eat the cat?
You are not from Melmac.
I thought he was just playing the cat, like a cat harmonica.
Oh, like a harmonica.
Yeah.
Right. I think you're blowing in the wrong hole to begin with. All right. So back to the voiceover. I have an interesting question. And I want to know the truth about this. So now voice actors, I know you like this, but I do want to know, is it personally for you better before the technological boom, like before all the in-home studios, or has it been better afterwards? I'm sure there's pros and cons to both, but like there's a golden age. Oh, no.
Jesus. No, that's the golden age of editing. I got you. No, we're not talking about that.
And this has not been a suicide prevention tape. That's the way they used to edit audio, people.
Right. I'm not about to slit my wrist with that blade.
That's funny.
That's for editing.
When I went,
so obviously I was there for the transition. So when the first digital audio workstations came out, my first one was called SSL Screen Sound. And it was a wireless pen, which I'm looking for now. Not that it's any big deal to show you the props, you know. Anyway, I had it up here recently. So it was a wireless pen and a tablet. So we had to reinvent. I was afraid in the beginning, like we were so fast. This is where I was going. We were so fast with 1/4-inch tape and multi-track, 24-track, and bang, 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 bang. And there were no computers really. There were event controllers, like you could type in a time code number and say, okay, I want a door slam here. And it would fire in the CD player, or it would start a 1/4-inch tape deck. And then you could modify, and we would build everything on a 24-track tape, and then we would mix it. I loved that. That was great. So then as a frustrated recording engineer wanting to do some digital production at home, a segue to Cool Edit 96, which was just a 2-track recorder. Then if you could buy the multi-track, you could buy the EQ, and you could buy toys, which was the compressor and reverb and stuff. So for $400, you had, a digital recording studio in your house. And the first one that I had, SSL Screen Sound, it's a $100,000 box. It's 8 in, 8 out. You could do edits, you could automate the volume and the panning, but that was it. You had to get it right going into the box. There was no compression, there was no reverb, there was no EQ. You had to get it right going in the box, which made you a better engineer. So, I was there for the beginning of the end of analog. Similarly, drum machines.
This interview sucks so bad.
She's bored by all this tech talk.
I want to get wet.
Similarly, when the drum machines came out and synths and all that, and everybody had a home studio, and then the studio owners came to me and said, "Listen, nobody's booking in for like music demos anymore. What else can we do?" And then I got into doing audio for video for post. And so I mixed a lot of documentaries and feature films and sound design and got into that. I don't know if I don't know if your question is leading to this.
No, I think what I'm getting out of it is that you enjoyed both. It's just different. Like both of them are a different time.
Until I got really fast at digital, and then I didn't, because the first time was like, do I really need the computer on this one? Now I can do it so fast with analog tape. So I would hold off. And of course, every job was appropriate. Like, do I need to potchkey that much with taking out breaths and clicks and all that stuff that we do now? It wasn't that important. If you listen to old advertising from the 60s, 70s, all the breaths are in. Nobody was cutting breaths out unless you really had a time squeeze and you really wanted to physically cut them out.
Yeah.
But these days, we take most of the breaths out. And even doing audiobooks, we would punch in, because now you have, even though it's called punch and roll, it's really roll and punch, kids. Somebody named it wrong.
Stop, drop, and roll, fools.
Yeah, that too.
So when did you start Antland Productions?
that goes back to high school. It's funny. Whoopi Goldberg asked me the same question. And I said, that was back in high school. Remember high school? And she said, I didn't graduate high school. I said, all right, never mind.
Talking to the wrong person.
Yeah. So we had the Antland band, and the guy with the van, he was Antland Van Lines. And we, so I was Antland Recording Studio, because in my
So you weren't in the band, you were like the sound
I guess I was I was the mixer. I was the mixer, backup singer. I guess you'd even say producer and production manager, because when we would play out in clubs, for instance, if we did Rocky Raccoon and he drew first and shot, I would play a gunshot. I had all kinds of tape. I had no cart machines, which would have been quicker. That's in radio, you could have instant, sound effects and stuff. So I had a 1/4-inch tape always queued up with the next sound effect, and turned it into a production. So Antland Productions, and I'm the only one who was doing anything creative with Antland. It was just the band. And when the band got together for practice, and nobody could transpose, nobody was using a capo, they could only play it in the original key that they could play along with records. Those guys just wanted to drink beer. What's wrong with that? But I just wanted, so I had these little Radio Shack mixers and stuff. I just wanted to make it sound good. I was a little, I don't want to say creatively frustrated.
No, but Radio Shack was your friend back then, wasn't it?
It was Radio Shack and Lafayette Electronics. If you grew up in New York in Syosset on Jericho Turnpike, they had, every kind of part, just like when you sit on the toilet and read a Radio Shack catalog.
Yeah.
They had all that kind of stuff.
One of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
But you sit on the toilet and you read Sweetwater catalog. I know
right,
you.
But I have a bidet now, so I'm like, so fresh and so clean.
So fresh.
And in case you run out of toilet paper, at least you got the catalog there.
Right? I forget sometimes.
Right. Hey, got change of 100? No.
Yeah. Why are you only wearing one sock? Shut up.
No, I got, just to be in sync here, I got my tie-dye socks on.
Uh-huh.
A little dirty on the bottom.
Oh, my Lord.
What?
Nothing.
I'm all about T-shirts and socks and tie-dye and bagels. Oh, wait, we got to get the bagel for later.
My sock game has gone way up since I met you.
Really? What you got? Let's see. Man. Whip it out.
Right now. I should have thought about that. I got some super awesome ones. It's a dumpster fire. Literally a dumpster that's on fire. My dumpster fire socks are great.
That'll keep you warm.
A bunch of Muppets. Gotta have Muppets.
I have one that says Cool Kids Club, and it's a bunch of Muppets on there.
Nice.
Yeah. And when I go to physical therapy Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so it's like, oh, let's see what kind of socks he's got on. So I try to make it a little holiday, kind of like Bagel Thursday. I said, all right, how about Fun Sock Friday? Because the PT guys can wear a T-shirt. They don't have to wear a tie, and they don't have to, dress up a little bit and be professional. So they can wear the PT T-shirts. Let's have some fun socks, guys. So they comply. Got a little fun sock club going on.
Well, speaking of Bagel Thursday, it is
people
Thursday.
With fun socks have more sex.
Okay.
That may or may not
From
be
your lips to somebody's ear.
Jesus.
So you did the OneVoice conference just recently.
I did.
And
I talked my way into that job.
Nice.
I said to Hugh,
you should
listen, he said, oh yeah, you mix Atlanta, right? I said, yeah. So that's what I'll do for you guys, And it was crazy because they had to fly Harry Davies 2 weeks before the conference. They flew him to Mexico. He stayed with Rona Fletcher, and then they both came over because they didn't have to quarantine. And so Hugh couldn't make it. Peter couldn't make it, So I know I kind of chimed in. You were just asking, did I do it?
No, I just said you did do it, and
I did do it. And the other thing to be for me to be proud of is I was shortlisted, nominated for Best Voiceover Service Provider. Now, I helped a lot of people during the pandemic.
Oh, I bet you did. Yeah, because they all wanted to get their own setups, right?
It was very important for everybody's home studio. So Mark Scott had called me and said, do you want to do something nice for everybody? I said, oh, I'll do free home studio evaluation. So if your stuff sounded good, I told you that. If it needed a bass drum, I told you that. If you needed to take my 2-hour life-changing Adobe Audition class, I told you that. So 80% of the people, 80% of the people signed up. So I had a very good 2 years. You know, because of Mark Scott shouting me out.
Very nice guy.
I don't know if we need to talk about Mark Scott's 87 or anything like that, but there's a reason he has it.
You're both very fine people.
Yes. Fantastic.
That was payback for, or that was my gratitude. It was just funny when he got it, and he sends me a picture of it, not knowing where the hell it came from, and I played dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But
I sent Stephen a whoopee cushion.
I had a little whoopee cushion. I had one. I found it in the flood. It came
floating.
out. It was floating. That's right. And I tried to squeeze it, and just water came out. So it was it was like after the chocolate. It was liquidy.
It was a wet one. I got it.
Yeah, it was a wet. Yeah, right.
God, you guys are so gross.
That's why people listen.
Right, true.
They don't know.
That keeps them coming back for more.
They don't know what we're gonna say next.
All 4 of you. Thank you.
So yes, I had a good time. They flew me down to Dallas 2 weeks before, so J. Michael and I could walk through the hotel. Parentheses, which could have been done on Zoom for an hour, maybe. So, but you know, and when I got down there, all the Texas people were like, Uncle Roy's in town. Let's go out to dinner. Let's have lobster. You know.
Oh,
So I had a great time.
Darn, you had to go out to dinner with all those people. Shucks.
Oh man, that sucks.
And then 2 weeks later, came back again to do the conference. And I really should have stayed one extra night because J. Michael went out that Sunday night for the big lobster dinner.
You missed
And
it.
he owes me a lobster.
That dirty rat.
Ooh, you owe him a lobster.
He said it. He said
Okay.
it.
Well, he's
I mean,
a man of his word.
Upgrade that to a Euro retreat.
That's where they are right now.
I know.
But yeah, maybe we could bump AJ out of there. Maybe I could take over the tech side of things.
It's always
There's
possible.
room for plenty
Even though-
of audio people.
Even though I love AJ.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Fantastic.
things can happen. Strangulation, whatever needs to happen.
That's how I got the job in the first place. No,
Like someone needs to go. Like which one?
AJ used to be the audio guy for VO Atlanta, and he said to me, "I'm so happy that you took over because boy, I'm tired of doing that shit. You know, dealing with setting up and all that." So yeah,
He'd rather cut demos for J. Michael. I got
Tell
you.
you what, I didn't know what the hell to do with myself trying to go to VO Atlanta the 1 year I got to go without setting up before and after. It's like,
Yeah,
you can do this shit without body cramps? This is cool.
I can just walk around and
You gotta
enjoy
think, there's
myself.
pallets.
that's right.
No one thinks about how heavy that shit is. And you got to think how many metric tons of crap is just
And that was just the bagels.
yeah. Not to mention the wardrobe. Gee.
You know, my carry-on luggage is usually 4 dozen bagels.
I mean,
Wherever.
it's
So I
pretend cess.
I saw you cutting those bagels at the OneVoice conference with your hand too, and we were all very nervous.
Who took that video? J. Michael?
I think so.
And who was there saying, "Man, you're gonna cut your hand off"?
Yep,
and
you're
I
gonna
said,
cut your hand
"No,
off."
I'm a professional. It's okay.
I've been drinking. I'm a professional. It's fine.
It was Diana Birdsall and I on camera
Yes.
prepping. I would cut it. She would put it in the Ziploc bag, you know, and then yeah. So I'm very popular when we're at the conferences. Do you have any bagels left?
There's
Finally
bagels around.
Schmear.
What's that?
I would like some schmear with
Yeah.
my bagel.
So the only way we could get schmear is when you went to the buffet breakfast. They had those little Philadelphia cream cheese things, so we'd fill up our pockets so we had some stuff for later.
And then someone gives you a big hug, and you're like, "Oh wait, oh God."
Yeah, right.
You're
What's
like,
this?
"Oh, I'm like a
White-
Twinkie."
like squeezing a Twinkie? What?
Right, exactly, like squeezing a Twinkie.
You got some of you on me. Sorry, cream cheese. Don't worry.
I like food too much.
Really?
Taking a little break here. What?
Huh? No, that's fantastic.
What was the question? Yes, I went to Dallas. I went to Dallas. Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it looked like it was a great comment.
When does this episode air?
We don't know yet.
Okay, good.
It's airing right now.
It'll
and
be
it's
2022.
multiverse.
It's
For
live, and
sure.
and nobody knew it.
This will be airing in the new year, my friend.
Oh, you're that backed up. That's good for you.
Yeah,
Good for
we
you,
already
man.
have it all set up. Who's going to be for the end of the year? In fact, the first episode of the new year is going to be J. Michael Collins. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. Lobster boy.
you, Crawdaddy.
Did you see that picture? He had his mask, the lobster mask. Did you see that? Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
cool
I
to
had a
get
time-
one of those lobster head plastic masks where like it looks like a, gas mask and just be a whole lobster face.
Well, next time you come over, we'll go lobster mask shopping and
Yes.
try them on. Go in the dressing room, try them on. But you got to have a paper mask of J. Michael, and then we'll try them on.
That makes more sense.
We have the same haircut.
Yeah, we could
It's
probably
the
pull
same
that off.
hairline. Yeah.
Not necessarily the same means of transportation all the time, but
But you got no wind resistance except your beard.
oh, it's beautiful.
No, it's beautiful.
yeah,
Got all kind of gray in it now.
because you're not a teenager anymore.
Yep, I'm an old man.
For shame. Well, where can everyone find Roy if they wanted to find Roy on the
This
internet?
is the short episode. They're wrapping it up.
Short
already.
episode. Wait a minute, 6:30 already.
Oh, okay.
Look at you.
Oh, as you can tell, both of them are crazier than crazy shit. So we're going to continue the episode normally.
This is part one, and then after the new year, after J. Michael and whoever else is ahead of me, Ann and Mary Lynn, everybody, the more important people.
Oh my God, we're not doing this. Oh my God.
yeah, we're not doing this.
I can
Roy.
wait. I can wait.
Roy,
so
you're being
what?
very silly right now. You're being very
Boys
silly
is
right
coming
now.
out tomorrow.
What's wrong with silly? Maybe that
Everett.
maybe it's Everett again.
Everett, hello.
No, it's all right. It's
Damn it.
It's the municipal plaza.
All
It's
right,
the
well.
people saying if you haven't gotten your COVID shot, yes, you can go down to the library. So
I've been trying to get in touch with you about your extended car warranty.
that's how I make telephony demos. I use those kind of scripts.
Yep.
You know,
Anytime you call somebody, if they don't know what you're talking about, you can just say, "This is Bob from Sweetwater, checking up on you and your order."
this is an apology call from your utility company. You know, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So where can they get a hold of me? Around my waist.
Ooh,
I'm ticklish, so be careful. Antlandproductions.com, ANTLAND. Is this looking right or wrong?
That looks correct.
My gosh, that is a sexy sight.
That looks so right.
Woo! And my shameful email
Oh, it's
is
shameful.
Antland, ANTLAND, prods, PRODS, shamefully at AOL.com. Shamefully not sorry. I also have Antland Productions at Gmail. I'm all over Facebook. If you ever want to know what today's holiday is, just go to my Facebook page. Couldn't tell you what today is now because
Today's no underwear day. Check this out. I'm just kidding.
today is Sexy Ball Guy Day.
Sexy ball guy day.
That should be every day.
My wife has a shirt that matches it. Says I'm with the sexy bald guy.
There you go.
Perfect.
We went to Universal. It's from the Shrek exhibit. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I didn't know you were married to Fiona.
Oh yeah, well,
Don't tell her I said that.
Don't tell her I
Gonna
said
whoop
that.
your ass, Roy. In the
She
morning,
will.
we gonna make waffles.
I did give her that nice tour of New York City. So
Yes. She's like, you missed everything. I'm like, shut your face. I will go back and have black bean mussels myself.
yeah, that's right. Or black bean,
Yeah, that's
clams
it.
and black bean sauce. I got to go to Wohop. So anyway, Anland Productions, all that. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. Definitely. I reach out to people on LinkedIn, like you're supposed to, like Mark Scott and Tracy Lindley say.
Yeah.
And not much on Twitter. I'm there. And
Yeah.
very, very much not much on Instagram.
What about OnlyFans?
But
What about OnlyFans?
and not much on Clubhouse unless I'm invited. And then I don't have time. I'm on Facebook all the time.
TikTok.
I'm doing everybody's demo and selling 2-hour life-changing Adobe Audition setups.
Plug.
You know, all that. Yeah. Jared had one of them.
Uh-huh.
I did.
He did.
Yep.
He still does, apparently,
Yeah.
somewhere.
All right. What else? Did we run out of questions?
No, we didn't run out of questions. We just ran out of time, sir.
Oh, that's why it has to be part 2. No, it's all
We are
right.
so happy to have you on.
I'm
Thanks
so
for
down
taking
for a
the
part
time.
2. Maybe we'll do something in conjunction.
Exactly.
I should really run and get a bagel out of the freezer at least so that we can.
So we can take a picture.
Yeah, we can take a picture after we're done, and you can put it up.
Go grab a bagel, and I'm gonna grab something random. Okay, everybody, that has been another episode of VO in Stereo. Thank you so much for being here. We'll have another fantastic episode for you soon. And don't forget, if you need a family member, call Uncle Roy. Bye.
He'll be your uncle for sure.